Yeah, you just got chopped, sucker. Don't come into my videos without being ready. Keep your guard up at all times. Today's question, which was suggested by a viewer and piqued my interest, is, do aliens exist? Is there extraterrestrial life out there in the universe? And this is a question that has been keeping me up for decades now. And quite frankly, it freaks me the F out. And you know, when I was a kid, this is when my fear of the aliens started, when I was a small child, because I was raised by weird people. And on the one hand, there was my grandfather who had lots and lots and lots of books. And of the thousands of books he had, they could be categorized into 4 subjects. Cooking, which he never did, but he collected a lot of cookbooks. Hypnosis, because he was a hypnotherapist. Reincarnation, which he had a lot of books about, but it was glaringly never discussed within my family. I don't know what's up with that. And aliens, UFOs. He had a ton of stuff about them. He had the VHS tapes about the UFO sightings and all that. And as a small child, it traumatized me. Then on the other hand, there were my parents who were like, yeah, let's watch Independence Day. Not just like, we're allowing you to watch it, but you better watch this. You better get educated about what's coming. And I felt like at any moment the aliens were gonna come and either destroy the earth or at the very least kidnap me. And to me, I think aliens represent the feeling that reality could be torn apart at any moment and that everything you know is wrong and that everything could come crashing down. Very cool. Now, this subject is somewhat relevant because a couple weeks ago, the US Senate met because they were like, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about the UFOs. I saw another article where they were talking about 2 UFOs spotted over Kansas City. They were there to check out the barbecue and to see how the Royals were doing. Not very well, I'm sorry to tell you. In those cases, I don't think those are aliens. I think there are many more simple explanations for it that don't require us to jump to the conclusion that it's people from another galaxy, of course. Why didn't we see that before? Even if those sightings of UFOs are just, you know, weather balloons or whatever, or some military aircraft that's really hush-hush, the question remains, are there aliens out there? And if so, where are they? Why haven't we heard from them yet? Here's a question for you. Is it more terrifying to think that we are totally alone in the universe and that we're just flying around on this little rock through space and this is it? This is the only place where there's life in the universe? Or is it more terrifying to think that there are other beings out there living their lives, doing their thing, and we don't know anything about them? My knee-jerk reaction is to say we're it. There's nothing else. We're a bunch of lonely people out here. But it also wouldn't surprise me, and the probability would suggest that the universe is so huge that there's something out there, probably. Some other intelligent species. And this brings us to the Fermi paradox. Or Fermi, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The Fermi paradox says the probability is that there is an intelligent species out there, somewhere in space. But if there is, why haven't we heard from them? Where is everyone? Why are they being so rude and not talking to us, talking to their neighbor? Why aren't they being neighborly? To give you a sense of how big the universe is, which is pretty much unfathomable to the human mind, imagine that this quarter, this is the solar system. Imagine that this is the solar system from the sun out to Neptune. Because Pluto isn't a planet anymore, people. Get over it. So for scale, this is our solar system. So then how big do you think just the Milky Way galaxy, where our solar system is, how big is that compared to this quarter? The Milky Way galaxy is the size almost of the lower 48 states. That's how big the galaxy, just the galaxy is. That's pretty big. And there are like hundreds of billions of galaxies in the universe. So that gives you a sense of just how freaking big everything is. And really quick, this video is sponsored by the planet Earth. Make sure you use code FJ for 20% off. Do you want to live on a planet? Do you enjoy oxygen and H2O? This is the perfect place for you. It's a limited trial that you can get if you just use my code FJ. Text FJ to a number, but yeah. While I'm talking about sponsorships, let's see if YouTube wants to show a commercial. Was that commercial great? Did you find something that you wanted to buy? I doubt it, because I never see anything I want to buy. So there are several hypotheses that attempt to explain this paradox of the high probability that the universe is so freaking huge that there's probably someone out there, but we haven't heard from them. There are many more hypotheses that I'm going to mention, but these are just the highlights. Now the first one, which I have mentioned already, is that the Earth is it. The rare Earth hypothesis, that it's so rare for a planet to be situated just right. And when you look into it, it is kind of like a lot of things have to come together for life to happen on a planet. So it's conceivable, I guess, that Earth is it. But it's also, it's kind of lonely and a little bit frightening. Another theory is that intelligent life forms are out there, but they just don't have the technology to get to us. Either because they're not advanced enough, I mean, we're not advanced enough, we're not going to other galaxies, or it's just too freaking far away, like impossible to span that distance, which I could buy into. Because as I said, 100 billion galaxies, that's pretty far. So it makes little sense that things are a bit too far for the aliens to jump in their Toyota Corolla and make the trip. A more dark theory is that when civilizations get advanced enough, when they get too advanced for their own good, they just inevitably destroy themselves. Either because of like war or because the AI robots take over. It's not a pretty picture. And I suppose the most frightening implication would be that we gotta watch out because we're gonna do that to ourselves if we're not careful. An interesting hypothesis is that these alien life forms are just too weird, and we can't make sense of the signals they're sending out. They can't make sense of us, to the point where they don't even see them. They don't even recognize them as signals, which kind of makes sense, because why would you assume that a life form that is developed in a whole different galaxy would be able to even make sense of your technology, that your technology would interface together, that you'd be able to go into their spaceship and use a 1990s MacBook in order to load a computer virus onto their spaceship? Doesn't make a ton of sense when you really think about it. One of the theories I like the most is that the aliens know we're here. They're keeping an eye on us, but they don't want to bug us. They, for whatever reason, think it's like too dangerous, like it's not going to turn out good for either of us, so why bother? Or it's just going to be too traumatizing for us humans to have to deal with aliens coming in. And they know that, so they're like, we'll just keep our distance. You know, we'll keep an eye on you, but other than that, we're good. We don't need to intervene. It's almost like those tribes, those native tribes in the Amazon that are so deep in the rainforest that they haven't ever contacted modern human life before. And so they're just in their own little world, and the modern people, us, have kind of agreed not to bug them because we don't want to ruin their culture. We don't want to, traumatize them. But then there's an interesting ethical question that, is it better to leave them undisturbed so that they can continue their way of life? Or is it not so great that we're holding out things like modern medicine from them when they're certainly in the rainforest dying of easily treated things that modern medicine can handle, and we just decided, no, we're not going to bug them? I'm not an anthropologist. I don't really know what the correct thing to do is, but wouldn't you be mad if you knew that there were aliens out there and they had the cure for cancer and all the stuff, all the human ailments we deal with? Wouldn't you be kind of TO'd if you figured that out and you're like, guys, you've been holding out on us this whole time? Come on, man. Now, another sub-hypothesis of that is that we're just this big experiment that they're conducting, and they don't want to interfere with the experiment. They just want to see how it plays out. Makes you think. Now, some people, such as the late Stephen Hawking, have said, let's not try to contact aliens because it's not going to end well for us. And I get that. It makes sense. If you didn't know, we have been trying to contact aliens. Like in the 70s or something, there was a space probe that was sent out, and on it, it had like a picture of a man and a woman who strangely didn't have any body hair. I don't know what that was trying to say. And like some kind of weird map telling the aliens how to get to Earth. Like, first of all, are they even going to understand what they're looking at when the aliens find this? They're going to be like, what the frick is this? And then on the other hand, do we really want to give them a map back to our house? Don't we want to protect our privacy a little? We don't know who these people are. We haven't done a background check. Come on. So I tend to agree with Stephen Hawking. Look, they might be great people. We don't know. I don't want to be judgmental and have a prejudice against them just because they're not from Earth. But on the other hand, why tempt fate? Why give them the keys to our house and say, hey, just stop by whenever? Not the smartest move. But on the other hand, I think we project a lot onto our idea of what aliens might be. Because, you know, the popular thing in movies and popular culture is that aliens are just going to come here to conquer and destroy. And, or sometimes, like with Avatar, you see it the other way around, that humans are going to go destroy the aliens. And what it really is, it seems to me like it's this fear of reliving history, human history, because we know that human history is just a bunch of people conquering each other and more advanced civilizations moving in and destroying less advanced civilizations and taking their stuff. So there's probably an element of that where we're just too keenly aware of where we've come from, and we're like, well, I'm worried about getting our comeuppance on an intergalactic scale. And I think that's what a lot of it is, because we have enough difficulty as human beings sometimes understanding where other human beings are coming from if they're from a completely different culture. So when we're talking about a completely different race of beings, why would we assume that they would have any kind of human motivations like conquering, etc.? Maybe they would just be like a bunch of tourists. Maybe they would just come here with their cameras, standing in the middle of the crosswalk after the light turns and you're angry at them, but they're too busy snapping a picture of the freaking Empire State Building. It's like, come on, guys. Get with the program. I know you're from another planet, but this is getting a little too much. I wouldn't really be surprised if we're it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if there's something out there and it's just too far away for us to ever get in contact, which I'm okay with. But I think there is some beauty in the one theory of they know we're here, they just don't want to bug us. They're watching out for us. You know what I mean? Now, what do you think? Passing the question on to you. Let me know in the comments if you think we're it. What hypothesis jumps out to you as being the most reasonable of why we haven't heard from them yet, if they exist at all. Make sure you check out some other videos here that are not about aliens. Smash the like button, subscribe, jump on the FJ train, and until next time, stay cool and attractive.